Activated.
Analyzing.
Update complete.
Hey guys, want to give a quick shout out to WizKids who not only sent us some Star Trek Attack Wing swag to check out and help with our charity, but will also be inspiring a whole new series starting next week. Supporting my partners supports the channel. With that out of the way, let's just get into it. If you haven't yet, go ahead and check out the beginning of this series, Star Trek The Victorious Dominion. You can catch it in the top right hand corner. If you don't watch the first and second episodes, then this won't make a lot of sense to you, so definitely check that out first. If you have watched the previous episodes, then you'll remember that we last left off with an alliance between the Cardassians, Romulan Star Empire remnants, Starfleet and Klingon Task Force remnants, and Bajorans. After several years under Dominion occupation, the elements of resistance were finally able to come together and put up a fight that is worthwhile. Odo, betraying his people, would have ordered many of the Dominion elements from the Bajoran and Cardassian space into Federation territory. This would have allowed the new alliance to spring up and gain large swaths of space. At this point, I do want to take a moment to be frank. The more we move away from events on the show, the more fan-fiction-y this will get. Because actions beget actions, and it's easy to justify an action based off something done directly from the show, but after 3 episodes, it's beginning to be a lot more guesswork. I'm going to attempt to base these decisions off of the show, off of motivations of the characters themselves, but I can understand where people may have some issues with what I'm about to say. With that in mind, let's take a look at Voyager. We know that Voyager would attempt to contact the Alpha Quadrant. The USS Voyager itself would be the one to make first contact through the alien network. I believe that, like in canon, they would have some success, whether it be a wayward Federation vessel, a Romulan vessel, Cardassian vessel, or civilian ship. They would be able to contact someone. It would be at this point that they would discover that the Federation had been destroyed. Now, I want you to consider Janeway a moment. Janeway is fanatical. She will do anything to save her crew and get them home. I also think she would be that way with the Federation. She would do anything to restore it, to save her people. I believe she would do what needed to be done to stop the Dominion. And again, you can see this type of fanaticism throughout the Voyager series. So with that in mind, let's return to the Alpha Quadrant. You would see envoys dispatched to different races and uprisings from other species such as the Tholians and the Gorns. Hell, the Jem'hadar would also most likely want a piece of this action. The Dominion would see an uprise and internal rebellions across all of their sectors in the Alpha Quadrant. Ironically, for the moment, the Alpha and Beta Quadrant rebellion would probably be known as the Bajoran Cardassian Alliance. This named after the 2 major powers that still had their territory, and due to the operations being most likely based out of both Cardassia and Bajor. Even with these advancements, and the Dominion having more rebellions than they have ever had, I do believe that the best the Alliance could hope for would be to create a stalemate at the borders of Cardassian and Bajoran space. But if I'm honest, it seems more likely that the Alliance would be losing, albeit very, very slowly. Remember, there were thousands, if not tens of thousands of Dominion ships, and an untold amount of jem'hadar by now. The Dominion had had time to settle in. The Dominion also controlled the resource-rich Federation space and Romulan territories, while the Alliance was only able to secure Cardassia, which is resource-starved, and Bajor, which had been strip-mined. The only thing really stopping the Bajoran-Cardassian Alliance from being curb-stomped is internal rebellions within Federation and Romulan space, as well as a renewed war with the Tholians, the Gorns, and the Jem'hadar. Honestly, I think you could barely even refer to Cardassia as secure. It's likely that Dominion ships would be able to move across the border with ease, only ever being driven out when enough Alliance ships could be mustered. And even then, it would take drastic resources to do so. And if we're honest with ourselves, the Alliance would probably begin to slowly crumble as more and more territory was retaken. They would be pushed back. That would be until transwarp conduits would begin to open across the spectrum of Cardassian, Bajoran, and Federation space. At which point, Borg cubes, spheres, and probes would stream out. The lead ship of this invasion force? The USS Voyager. Alright, hear me out. Don't hate it, just listen. We know that in both episodes Unimatrix Zero and Unity, there were Borg or Borg-like entities that Voyager had either helped or called upon for help. They had allies who either were Borg or had Borg technology. With the fate of the Alpha Quadrant in peril, and the rebellion ultimately losing, it's not unreasonable to believe that Janeway would tap 7 of 9 in an attempt to contact the renegade Borg. As months would go by, she would assist in freeing more Borg and acquiring more Borg technology. Janeway would push for an all-out Borg civil war, being led by Voyager. She would offer the renegade Borg a place in the Federation, safety in the Alpha Quadrant. How could she do this? Could she help lead a Borg civil war and hope to get there in time? I have a few theories on this, but we probably need to save that for another Lorecraft series. Maybe one that you guys can vote on. I don't know. We'll see. With Voyager and the Borg allies, the very confused Bajoran Cardassian Alliance would now be able to truly take the fight to the Dominion. I believe that the Dominion would be slowly pushed back now, ultimately doing what they had before, being pushed to the far reaches and making a last stand. At this point, I'm honestly of two minds. Unlike in the Dominion War, so much more had happened, so much more had been lost, entire species completely destroyed. Resources pushed to the max, even more than what we saw in canon. Hell, it was so bad they now counted on the Borg as allies. Would the Bajoran Cardassian Alliance push into and lose so much more? Or would they let the Dominion stay defeated and let the Dominion go? I have to admit, I think that without a solidified federation to stop them, the Romulans and Cardassians would be more than happy to utilize biologic weaponry to take care of the Dominion question. With the Dominion gone, now what would happen? Even with the Cardassian assistance, it can't be forgotten that they betrayed the Alpha Quadrant to begin with. You can't just let that go. The Klingon Empire was now reduced to extinction levels. What is done with that? Starfleet is in tatters. The humans still have to deal with their version of the quickening. Nothing was what it used to be. But now they had an alliance. But would that stay? You know, I did say this was the conclusion. I guess I lied, because we're going to do one more video on the fate of the Alpha Quadrant powers after a victorious Dominion. Hey guys, check me out on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at LoreReloaded. Also, go to twitch.tv/LoreReloaded. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And oh, hey guys, I'll see you on the next Lore Reloaded.